Back to another episode of Insta360 TV, and today's episode is going to take us through where we are going to be taking things for a cruise in the night time. I'm sure at some point in your life you've seen really cool kind of hyperlapses which are taken during the night where the lights look like long light streaks. I've been looking at a lot of these lately and I thought, how can we put an Insta360 TV spin on this? And that's what led us to the adventure of today's episode. So today what we're gonna do is take you back in time to the fateful night where we had this experiment and what a ride it was. And then we're gonna show you the editing steps on how you can get this effect for yourself. And trust me, it's much more simple than you think. Okay, so you may be thinking to yourself, why is Hannah surrounded by all of these very expensive cars? I can confirm, these are not mine. We are at the showroom of one of my very good friends who has very graciously allowed us to use his Aston Martin for tonight because we want to create two shots, but we want to get these long exposure, kind of time machine looking shots. We're going to head into the CBD area so we can get a lot of light. But before we set off, we are riding in the literal James Bond mobile. This is the Aston Martin DB11. I think I got that right. So we're just testing out that the mounts are nice and sturdy first, and then we're gonna head into the CBD so we can get a lot of light to get our time machine look. So yeah, let's jump in this beast and then we'll go through the settings when we arrive to the shooting location. Okay, my friends, so we are now in the CBD area. And you might be thinking to yourself, is that an ND filter? Why are you using an ND filter in the evening? Well, I'll tell you why. So we're using 3-second intervals, which means we're getting a lot of light into the camera. So naturally, without the ND filters, it's gonna be super overexposed. So we're using the ND8. These are the Freewell filters for the 360. And if you're wondering about the mount, this is a third-party one that actually we once used on a helicopter. I don't want to take any chances on this Aston Martin. So this is for the video game 360 look. So now let's talk through the interior shot. So for the interior shot, we're going to be using the PGY Tech mount, which you can get on our online store. It's perfect for these interior shots. Originally, I wanted to get a nice one where you could see like all of the riders in the car, but actually the ceiling is very low, and because we're shooting in intervals, there was a bit too much movement and it just looked really messy. So we're going to mount it on the front of the windshield so we can get a really nice clear view of the light streaks. So top tip, if you're shooting in 360, make sure you're avoiding any obstructions of the stitch line. Make sure that your camera has got the single lens facing totally forward. That way you're going to get the ultra wide angle and no obstructions to the stitch line. So I think we're good to go. If you can't tell by my face, it is already like midnight, so shooting is complete and then it's on to the edit, so I will see you guys back in the studio. So before we get to the easy mobile editing hack, I just want to clarify a few of the camera settings for this effect. So it does depend on your specific shooting environment, but just a little recap for us. We had an exposure time of 3 seconds. It allows more light to enter the sensor. And it also means that movements are being captured over a longer period of time, and that's where you get this kind of stretching effect. And that's what creates the light streaks, whilst we were in interval shooting mode. So I just wanted to clarify that. If you have any other questions, just let them down below in the comments. And now let's get to the exciting part. So, if you're familiar with the Insta360 app, we have this thing called Shot Lab, which is basically AI editing templates. And I've done this one previously, and if you played around with the app, you'll know the star lapse effect. It's basically where you leave your camera out on a tripod overnight in a nice starry sky, and it creates this amazing long exposure time-lapse motion whilst taking multiple pictures throughout the night. But we thought to ourselves, how can we use this for our effect that we shot on that night? And that's exactly what we did to create this effect. So, step number 1. We're gonna go over to the start lapse template, okay? And let me go here for the kind of video game perspective on the back of the car. And then we're just gonna click tick. Let's wait for the preview to be generated from this template. Because we shot in 360, remember you've always got that flexibility to choose your angle. Happy? Then export, and you're gonna export in the reframed video, and then it's going to save directly to your phone album. So this was for the exterior shot, but as you've seen, we also did interior. So we just repeat the process all over again. So let's put it all together. So let's head over to the stories editor in the app. You just need to go create story, and then to the left-hand side, you'll see, oh, this is your general phone album, and it will contain the footages that you've exported. So you just go in there and choose the angles that you want to put together in your sequence. Final touches for this video is color. So we wanted a kind of cool Blade Runner aesthetic. So when we were shooting, we manually adjusted the white balance and put it all the way down to 2700. A really low white balance is going to produce that blue tone over the footage. But if you want to make it even more cool, that's when the little color tweaks in the app come in handy. So if we go to the middle to tune, adjust, you want more blue tone, then we're just going to go to color temperature, and if we play around with it here and then all the way down to the bottom is going to give you the blue. So after all these simple tips, we put it all together and this is what we got. Now we're in the deep, dark depths of winter. We've all got ample opportunity to get cool nighttime shots like this. So I can't wait to see what you guys do with this effect. And if you do manage to get round to it, don't forget to share it and hashtag Insta360TV over on Instagram. But thanks for watching this one, guys. All the usual stuff. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss our weekly episodes, and like this video if you enjoyed this effect. Thanks again for watching. Chase adventure, and I'll see you next week.